All right, good night, good night, good night. Welcome to another episode of Our Purpose Podcast. I'm your host, The Voice, and with me tonight, once we have a basketball podcast, we're going to have Thea here with us.
Evening,
What's going
evening. How
on,
are
Thea?
you doing? Not too bad, can't complain, can't complain. Almost the end of another week, so ready to get into this podcast.
All right, perfect. And I just see the Hawks there. I'm named Risaka, the French dude. I see
Yeah.
they went ahead and they drafted him. So I guess
hmm
we can start there. There have been a lot of speculation. There have been a lot of speculation about there have been a lot of speculation about the Hawks, right? And about what's going to happen with Trey Young, what's going to happen
hmm
with DeJounte Murray, what's going to happen with the team on a whole, right?
Yeah.
I just don't think the team is good right now. And with a young guy like this coming from France, I'm thinking, who is a veteran who can take him under the wings and teach? And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's kind of like, uh, what I'm named this? Other brother name, Jaleel Okafor, right?
hmm
Obviously, he wasn't international, but when he went to Philly,
Yeah.
who was there to say, all right, big man, come in and we're going to teach you the game little by little? I think he was just a raw talent, and then him just take him little time, get X out of the league. But, for this guy, I'm looking at the Hawks, and I think majority of the time when we draft players, it's always where they get drafted. I
Yeah.
think going to an organization like the Hawks that is dysfunctional, I'm not sure if this is the best, if this is the best fit for him. But what do you think?
I'm just here looking through the roster, as you said that. Jaleel actually had some vets, not for long, because Elton Brand retired not long after.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, no, Brand was actually in Atlanta because 2015 is when Jaleel and them got drafted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thereabout. Yeah, because he got drafted third in catch class, and that was 2015.
20, no, 20, it's 2015 or 2014? I think
15.
2015, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, he was
But
drafted
then,
third.
even if there were vets, it was Philly. We knew what we know what Philly was trying to do at the time. But I'm looking at the Hawks roster. Who is a vet? Wesley Matthews. I,
Come on.
I mean, he's a good vet, but in terms of like teaching him how to be a pro, so that's a good vet to have. But first of all, I would have to check what his contract situation is like to see if he'll even be there. But just for argument's sake, if he's there next season, he's a vet because
Mm-hmm.
you look at everyone else that's there is a bunch of young players. Like the oldest players on the roster outside of Wesley Matthews, the
Mm-hmm.
eldest player is Bogdanovich. You don't really think of Bogdanovich as a vet. I mean,
I
the
don't
job
even think I don't even well, even though Bogdanovich is the oldest player, he's not the most experienced there. He's only been in the league 6 years.
exactly, and he's been rumored yet again to be moved. So Clint Capella, I guess you could say, is a vet from the standpoint that he's been in the league almost a decade now. But and also the reason why I was kind of the Hawks were the, the Hawks were kind of like a pickle from this stance.
Mm-hmm.
All the top prospects at this draft rather, they are packed at those positions. They have a bunch of wings, they have a bunch of guards. Even if you could argue and say that bigs are is a position where it's kind of like you still
Mm-hmm.
have Capella and Okongo who make up your rotation. So
Oh, yeah, they do got Capella over there.
yeah, so it's
So,
like the Hawks is just a. I do like it if they can somehow put him and Jalen Johnson on the same timeline instead of growth. But Trey is what, 26? Trey probably doesn't have time for that.
Trey is LA Bone, boss.
All
Trey is
right.
LA Bone. I don't know if you saw there was an event the other day.
hmm Yeah.
The event the other day that Trey went to, and LeBron no business being there. I'm sure LeBron style. I'm sure shake him hand, be his presence. So Trey is because I think the Hawks wanted DeJounte Murray. They wanted Austin Rivers for DeJounte Murray, but for some reason, the
Hmm.
Lakers are fascinated with Austin Rivers. And I'm not saying he's not a okay player, but
Hmm.
DeJounte Murray is a baller. And I think a lot of times you need ballers more than the players that just, I think JJ Redick like Austin Rivers too. Well, Austin Rivers. One name.
Reeves.
Here's him.
Yeah.
He's talking about he has a sets already ready for him, but I'm just not sold on Austin Reeves anymore. I think he has had enough time to make that jump, to take some of the workload off of AD, off of LeBron, and he just didn't do it.
Yeah.
All right. So
So
we're gonna
timeout. Just looking at it, I know we're moving quickly, but I like the pick because I can't really say I love it or dislike. I'm like it's all right, but at the same time, you have to ask yourself the question. You have Jalen Johnson there. You have what's his name, the English guy, um, Hunter. You have Bay coming back from ACL, and you have this kid now. So you have four guys who essentially play the same position. I guess it's a good problem to have, but we'll see. We'll see
we'll,
how it
de-
goes.
we'll definitely see. And here's the Wizards on the clock, but we're going to switch between the draft and free agency. And I'm glad
Mhm.
we have Miguel here because I want to ask him this question. So, there have been reports about Paul George, signed in 4-year deal, whatever the money is, right? But signed in a 4-year deal with your Warriors. I just want to get your thoughts when you think about that. And obviously, everything is hypothetical. Do you think it will work? What would have to happen for it to work?
I mean, I think Paul George would automatically solve a problem for Golden State that they've been missing for the last, what, 2, 3 years now since Clay got injured. A proven second scorer, right? The scoring has been solely on Curry's back since that injury. Um, and kudos to him. I think he's done a good job of shouldering that offensive load. But then at the end of the day, you only can do so much and no more. It takes more than one person to win a championship. And so
Mhm.
they need a second scorer for sure. I think Paul George solves that. They keep Draymond Green. They get one more big that can be as mobile and tactically aware on defense, and they might have themselves a sensible unit. I don't know what they do with Wiggins. So for me, the option is between Wiggins or Clay to decide how George gets there. I think either one of them can go. Um, I'm a Clay fan because I'm coming from back in the days, and I still believe in him. I believe he has a
Back in
place.
the days.
Yeah, I believe he has a place
Oh,
on
God.
the second unit, and I think Wiggins. It might be the end of Wiggins' run with Golden State right now.
All right, so let me ask you this because one of the biggest questions that will always be a question until he retires is Draymond Green. How do you think a Paul George ego, a Paul George vibe can go with Draymond when Draymond ready to call him the B word? Ready for tell him say, oh, they won championships without him because through a grueling 82 game season, there's going to be some head bumps and PG look like he's very sensitive. Based watching him on his podcast, talking about oh, him no want to practice this hard, him no want to do this, him no want to do that. It seems like he's a sensitive guy. Do you see any possible friction there?
Um, I mean, anything is possible, German, but I think realistically, I mean, I watch PG podcast to myself. I don't really think he has that heavy of an ego issue. But he might be a bit of a prima donna in the sense where, as you said, he spoke to us not wanting to do certain drills or too hard or whatever the case may be. However, I find that when players find themselves in what they personally consider genuine positions to win a championship. So the idea is not being sold to them by the coach or the staff or whatever. They get into our organization and they genuinely personally feel themselves like a championship is possible. I find that the functionality of that player tends to be different. I would go back to KD, for instance. I don't think anybody is more sensitive than KD in the league. right? But the first year, especially that first year, he fell into Golden State setup. He knew it was a chip, and he knew he just needed to come and do his part. That's simple. Just show up, do the work, go home. No egos necessary for that. I think when the egos came into play is when it's not a foregone conclusion that they win this thing. So right, especially in that last year, it was just like, yo, them just going through the motions. And so inevitably there's not a level of focus as it was the first year or even the second year when you try to go back to back. You're kind of just coasting because you think you've already won it. And I think if we're being fair, barring any injuries, they probably would have taken it from Raps that year. Right. So if Clay fit, they probably snagged that three-peat and they would have coasted through it fairly easily. So I don't think George will come with any issues if he personally sees it as an actual genuine opportunity for him to get his first ring. He knows what these guys are there for. He knows that they're trying to hunt a fifth one. And as much as things never got to plan in the last couple of seasons, it's always a forethought for them.
So, all right. So let me ask Theo now because the Rockets are on the clock, right? And it's been said that pay attention to this third pick that the Rockets is going to do due to the fact that they are in the sweepstakes for Kevin Durant,
Devin Booker,
Devin Booker, but they want to be good now, right? Obviously, with Udoka over there and Boston just winning the championship, I know he's feeling sick over there. I just know he's feeling sick. So, do you think that there's a realistic chance for Kevin Durant now to go to a Houston Rockets? And how would that, they always ask a cliche question about legacy and how that would look for him. But when you look at his resume, this man doesn't have a home. There's no place where he can call his home apart from OKC. I personally think he should try to go back to OKC. I think it would have been a beautiful story, with the young guys, him and Shea and all the other young guys there. He'll take a huge pay cut. OKC have nothing over there. They need a lot of money. And him try and win a championship there. I think it would have been a more beautiful story than him going to the Warriors and win a championship or the Rockets and win a championship. I think going back to OKC would allow him to at least have some sense of peace because I think that was his happiest basketball. What do you think?
Well, sorry to blow apart your question, but Houston actually used a pick.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Yeah, they got Reed Shepherd. I think that's a good pick, based on how they operate on offense, trying to play through Sengun as a hub. No, you still have to answer the question of which guards are going to move because they have a bunch of guards there. You have Van Fleet, you have Thompson, you have Jalen Green, etc. So someone is going to get moved. And it's not like Reed he's different in terms of what he brings to the table, but in terms of like his size, he's the same thing as a Jalen Green or even a Fred Van Fleet. So we'll be interested to see how that goes. But for KD, I would say OKC is just a matter of would OKC be willing to give up what it would take to get him? Because remember, KD extended before he left Brooklyn. So if my memory serves me right, he has like 4 years left in terms of contract, in terms of his contract. So the only way he'd be able to even take a pay, I mean, I guess he could probably rework the contract. That's the only way he could take a pay cut because let me try to find a nice way to say this. As naive as Matt Ishbia has been since he's taken over as a Suns GM, I don't foresee him eating all that money just for KD to go home. But I do agree with you that if I were to pick a team, I would pick OKC over Houston in terms of a team in terms of a team for him to go to because he sent him to Houston. Who is he teaming up with? They have pieces there, and I do think that someone like Sengun is a nice young player, but he's not Shea. Shea is a consensus top 7 player, and consensus top 7.
In the league right now?
Shea, that's Sengun. Shea.
No, in the league right now?
I'll give him top 7. I'm not even being biased because he went to the best college program in the country. But just reeling off the names, you can just go what? Giannis, Joker, Jason, Luka.
No. Hold
No,
on.
we're not even going to get into this now. I'm just reading off names. It's not in order. I put
Yeah,
Giannis
but
first,
all
and
right. So
then
no, I'm gonna take your time. We can
yeah,
do Giannis,
yeah,
Joker.
yeah,
All right. Those are we are the people that are sure. Those are two sure people.
yeah.
Give me another one.
Jason Tatum.
Brothers.
No, but you know he's top. But he's in the top seven class. If you're doing top seven,
Luca.
Luca.
All right.
Luca is ahead of Tatum in my opinion right now.
Yeah,
Well, he
definitely.
should have won then.
Nah, come on.
Still,
Should have
So
won then.
that's three. Give it some more.
I mean I can't leave out Curry.
I think I put Curry in that brand class where it's like, you know what, we respect you enough, we keep you in the top 10, but you know,
We mean
So how much guys better than Curry in the league right now?
that's what I'm saying. How much guys better
on
than
any
Curry?
given night, but you have to factor in age in these things. On any given night, he can be the best, but let's just go off for like the first team All NBA. You gonna put, I guess you can put the guy in Philly, I guess.
I
Embiid?
mean, Embiid is better than Shea right now. A fit
Em-
Embiid, I'm taking him over
What
Shea.
what what but what is a fit Embiid?
Well,
A fit
what he was before he got hurt, averaging 36.
a fit Embiid only exists between the months of October to
Well,
January.
I mean, it's a grueling 82 game season. And
Yeah, well,
when playoffs time, you rarely find somebody who is 100% fit. Obviously, Boston could have been that now because they just had a world team where, and still, Kristaps was hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's but Kristaps is always hurt. All right, so
But what you call it, Shea, you look at how he did in the playoffs. That was what I was kind of holding back on. I was like, you know what, he did good last year, didn't make the playoffs. Let's see. He, in my opinion, answered the call. Everyone was. I remember I remember seeing tweets from those blog boys calling Jalen Williams a top 25 player. That didn't look like a top 25 player to me in the playoffs. I know he's young, but if you go call him top 25, I need more than whatever he showed this year. Shea lived up to his end of the bargain in the playoffs.
Shading,
It's not Shea's fault. Who tell Chet to go shoot, go miss 17 open threes and Mr. Top 25 Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams even at 25 in the playoffs
all
in a
right.
game.
So I'll say this, right? And then
So
I want to talk about the Knicks a bit, but I'll say this. I'll say this about Shea. I didn't watch that playoff series and think Shea was top 7 in the league. I am sorry. I never watched that. I never watched that playoff series. I say probably top. And I think, listen, we have to be very, very careful how we throw top this and top that. As soon as somebody starts doing something remotely good, we put them over using superstar, this superstar that.
but
Absolutely.
who you putting over him though? Outside we can't we're not factoring in the old guys.
Why are they in the league or not? Why we not factor them? Are they in
We're
the
not
league or not?
but you're not but they didn't even make the playoffs, some of them. Some of them got bounced in 5 games. They are who they are at this point in time.
All right.
Ideally, all right, if we're talking, I'll even exclude Katie because Katie's kind of like in that same, but kind of not fully in that same class as Stefan Brown.
Let me show you how my measure it.
Okay.
If KD was on OKC would have beaten Dallas.
How are you so sure about
If
that?
Steph was on OKC would have beaten Dallas.
How are we so sure about that though?
Because I didn't think Shea was a difference maker. Obviously,
Oh,
hold on, the NBA, bro, everybody score points. You are going to get your points. I'm talking about being a difference maker. Giving me the ball with the last 5 minutes, the last 3 minutes.
but that's how they won 2 games. That series was close, and the 2 games they won, well, one of the 2 games they won because the first game was a blowout, was because Shea single-handedly won that game in the fourth quarter. There was a game that they won to go up 2-1, game 3. Shea had something like 12 plus points in the fourth quarter. Shea was outplaying. The only player who was more efficient than Shea in the fourth quarter in that series was Kyrie. Because Luka,
what may I say to you is, again, we can look at the numbers all day long. That's what I'm going to tell you. My eye tests are the best tests. I don't want to see the numbers. When I am
Not
sitting down,
even, but
hold
he was the one. So, but
on,
who won the game then? It wasn't.
hold
It wasn't. It wasn't. Thing their right name. I never think that win it.
hold on to you,
So
man. Hold on to you, man. When me I watch the game, may I tell you what me I see? Probably my eyes and yours different. But when me I watch the game, and I am looking and I'm saying, okay, it's superstar time, top 7 time, top 10 time. Shea just didn't show. Miss this, miss that. Turnover
But
here, turnover there. I can say the same about Luca in the finals. Didn't show. You
exactly.
can him from now to the morning. You can say the same about Kyrie. But I am saying for Shea Gill Alexander, tell me say, oh, them rob him from the MVP. So I'm looking at him. The binoculars is on him. And I just don't think he is top 7
So
right
let me
now.
ask you a question. So I'll ask you a question. Heading into the season, where did you have OKC
Where did I have OKC into the season?
before last
Top
season?
top
Where did you have
five.
them?
Top five.
Okay, top five being that they were likely going to be fifth, right?
I don't really think like that, but just the top five. As
Did you
somebody thinking
expect them?
top five,
Did you
I just say,
expect? Did
oh,
you expect them to be in West is the best according to everybody? Did you expect them to be first in the West?
okay, see? No.
Yeah.
okay, see, if I
Look
expected
at
them to
that.
be first,
Look at that Russell. That Russell is younger than me. I'm 25.
no, I didn't
I'm
expect them
older
to be
than
first.
Shea.
Just like how I didn't
What
expect
was it? What?
Minnesota. Just like how I didn't expect Minnesota to be up there as well. I had Minnesota in the play-in. So if you
Well, that's
want to
on
use
you.
the argument, then Ant-Man, first of all, Ant-Man better than Shea. I could just get that out of the way. Ant-Man is over Shea right now within the top 7. Because
Why?
again, let me tell you why. When I watch Ant-Man, when me I look with my eyes upon Ant-Man, I am saying that is a difference maker. That is somebody I fear.
Because of the
That is
dunking
somebody I
ability.
eat pan. Don't give me the numbers, this, the numbers, that. That have to
Because
put
of
in
the
there.
dunking ability. Where was the defense he was talking about? That same. All right. Since we're gonna say Ant better than Shea, look at the Mavs series that both played against the Mavs. I don't even have to bring up the numbers. Your eye test should be able to tell you who played better in those series against both teams. Who played better against the Mavs? Shea or Ant? You don't
Well,
even try think. Don't even
no,
try
no, no,
think
no,
about
no,
it and
no, no,
postulate.
no,
You know,
Tia.
Shea play better.
Hold on, Tia. Give me a chance to
You mean
talk.
over the course?
No, all right. Hold on to me again. Tia, you have to be fair. You know basketball go. Minnesota come off a grueling 7-game series with them.
Okay.
Grueling. And then now the next person I'm run up to is Luca, Kyrie, and the Mavs. Very hard for now come back and say, And Mavs come off such an easy, cheesy, peasy series with OKC. Not
It was
pressured.
6 games.
Okay. You never see an easy
One
6-game
more
series
game.
yet.
So hold on, time out. Time out. Let me knife through your argument. Miguel, who are the two who was up 2-0 in the Denver series? Denver or Minnesota?
Minnesota.
So did it have to go to 7 games?
Wait, okay,
I won't,
I
so
mean, this is defending, but it's a
you're
defending
saying
champs, though.
yeah,
Defending
you're
champs,
saying
though.
grueling as if they never had a chance to not make it be grueling.
no.
But either which way you take it is the defending champs. You expect more Minnesota to be running down. Denver, not putting Denver in a position where Denver have to play hard and come out strong and then take a 3-2 lead or whatever the case may be. I think they did really good to beat Denver.
Remember, Denver was up 3-2 and up 25 in a game 6. 25.
And why?
And
How
still
did they
come
come?
up.
How did they come back?
And them lose. So I'm just try to show you. Again, if you want to have Shane in your top 7, I'm not fight you, I'm not argue. I'm
But who
just
you
saying for
putting over
me,
him though?
All right, so for me,
go ahead, Miguel.
barring the LeBron and the Curry, as you say, and probably even KD,
Yeah.
barring those 3,
Mhm.
Giannis, Joker, and for me personally, Booker, I definitely probably would put Tatum over Shea, to be honest with you, and Luka. That's my 7 people are picking over Shea.
you see the Booker one is the one that gives me cause for pause. Booker and Ant-Man. Because we quite literally saw the main reason why, okay, yeah, people talk about Cat not doing this and that is true. The main reason why Minnesota couldn't close out those games late against Dallas is not because of Luka and Kyrie being efficient, blah 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 blah. And he will get to that point, but that simple skip pass to the corner can't do that. Knowing how to play with the double teams still can't do that. Things that things that Shea has shown himself to be able to do, even Book to another extent. But
All right, let's not even talk about Booker right now, please. We could just
but I'm just saying, if you're going off a top seven and you're excluding the older guys, which you kind of do anyways, because they don't even really care that much anymore. Unless they really do have a chance at winning, they're going to be coursing through seasons and just get the numbers to just push themselves further up into certain conversations.
Just celebrate if you want to celebrate, my bro.
I just like looking at
I'm
shit.
willing. This is what I'm willing to bet you to.
Uh-huh.
I'm willing to bet you that Shea will never have a series against Denver like Ant-Man had. Never. I'll give
Who's
him
going to
5
guard him? Who's
I'll
going to
give-
guard him? Who on Denver going to guard him?
I'll give him 5 years. Maggie Shea 5 years. From
I mean,
now,
he's pretty versatile as a scorer right now.
yeah,
And what series are you talking about? Ant was fine for half the series. The other half of the series, let's not act like it was him. He did his job early on. I'll give him that. But that Denver series was more of a team collective effort on defense. That is a fact.
No,
If you
stop.
gave me the Phoenix series, I would give you that, even though it's not the same quality of opponent. What is it, Dunks or
Let me
what
see
he-
the quality.
name only? But who believed in Phoenix really? Outside of the names.
Miguel.
Outside of the names, yeah, Book and KD, but Nurkic is the center you're bringing into war. Who is on the bench? Me and you. There's no way it could have taken Phoenix serious this year. So all I'm saying, my thing with him, I was hesitant last year to even say top 10 for him because I'm like, you know what? They didn't even make the playoffs. This year, no one had them being where they were. They did it. They advanced to round two. He did his job, in my opinion. Can't really ask for much more. The same reason, it's the same way people gonna look at you and tell you that Luka did his job, just looking at the numbers, and his number wasn't even as good.
No.
So
So breaking news. I don't know if you all saw it, but Jimmy Butler will not sign an extension with the Miami Heat and will enter free agency.
Wow.
that was expected.
I mean, it don't
Kinda.
mean nothing necessarily though. I mean, I know he had the bust up with Pat Riley, but it don't necessarily mean nothing.
And plus, he's not a free agent till next year anyway. So I honestly knew that Pat wasn't going to extend him because we saw how Pat wasn't willing to give Dwayne Wade. We're not even have to get into how he wasn't willing to cede some control to LeBron. He wasn't willing to give their best player in franchise history a contract that Dwayne himself felt he deserved. There's no way Jimmy was going to get another max contract out of Pat Riley. Well, a max extension rather
So
out
do
of
we-
Pat Riley.
But he would have deserved it though, wouldn't he?
Jimmy,
I mean,
2 finals in 4 years?
yeah, but Dwayne did more for Pat, and Pat didn't. Pat's not really about emotion when it comes down to those things. So I knew he wasn't going to cave to Jimmy. If he didn't, the people will touch on the LeBron point. I'm like, that's fine and well, but if he wasn't willing to let his emotions rule him for Dwayne, he's not doing it for Jimmy, especially since Jimmy can't stay on the court either. So
does Jimmy go to Philly?
next year,
All this year they can trade him.
I mean, they can trade him, but they don't have to. That's the thing.
I
He
think
might
they
go.
will.
He might
What?
go west. He might go West Coast for once in his life.
To who? Pay for who?
I mean, Clippers getting rid of PG.
I don't. It's gonna be funny when they go for DeMar DeRozan. That's gonna be hilarious. That's gonna be hilarious.
I hope the Lakers not bother with this DeRozan foolishness.
Nah, DeRozan go want some money before him hang it up. Cause DeRozan is what 33, 34. Yeah, one last payday and then call it a night. So I do, if PG leaves like we expect him to, I do believe that DeMar DeRozan will land in LA. I mean,
All right.
he's always here anyways, so might as well.
Clips or Lakers?
Clips. Because they go have the money. If PG not coming back, they go have the money anyways. So
Yeah. I
yeah.
don't see what DeMar adds to Clippers though that PG couldn't do. So it seems like a lateral. If
Consistency.
eh?
He is consistent. He is.
Yeah, but
He will get a bucket. He's not going to play defense. We know that.
PG
and
ain't play
So
defense either.
PG.
PG wasn't playing like wasn't always playing all caliber, all NBA defense, but Demar not even playing the level of defense PG plays when he's not engaged, let alone when PG is engaged. I would know Kawhi just there to just get
Be
through the
there.
year.
Be there until playoffs.
So let's talk about the Knicks. All right. Let let's talk about the Knicks.
I will not be biased. I will not be biased.
So the Knicks, they traded for Mikal Bridges. So now the Villanova crew is back. And chemistry is a big thing, just in sports, in life, but in sports especially.
Somebody
And
go
then,
give Amari Spellman a shout in Korea.
and then they extended OG. Was it 212 million? That was wild.
42.5 million American dollars a season. Okay.
Yeah. That was wild to me. But again, what do we think about that? Does this, and obviously, there are more trades to make, there are more things to do, but just the current Knicks roster right now, how it is right now, would we say today the Knicks is better? Would we say today the Knicks is a championship team?
Personally, for me,
Yeah.
I think they're automatically better already. I think running it back with the likes of Brunson, Divy, and they already had OG before, and
Mm-hmm.
then Bridges to the situation. I think there's going to be a natural chemistry first of all.
Mm-hmm.
That's there. I think having probably three out of your core players returning also adds to that chemistry and that functionality of the team. And I think how Knicks played last year showed that they can be effective in the East. Still don't see anybody from East beating anybody in the West, but they can be, except from Boston, obviously, but they can be effective,
Mm-hmm.
And so I think with this addition, it adds something to them. I'm going to be very curious to see what happens with Julius Randle, but I do still think it's a move that could see them obviously see top three in the East and possibly get to the conference final.
Wow. Remember, Miguel, and obviously you made some great points, but I'm just going back to the Philly series. Embiid had one eye, one foot, and it went to like game 6, last second shot, and one or two bounces could have made Philly going through instead of New York, right? And I guess everybody is high on Bronson. I don't think he's that good. I think
Wow.
no,
Wow.
All right. I
Wow.
thought I was going to be harsh, but
no. I think he's an average. No, I think he's an above average, but not great NBA player.
Isaiah Thomas regen.
I don't think he's in a system with a coach with a high usage rate. And once you have those high usage rate, you are going to score points. You are going to do things. You are going to do, like, it's just easier. Like, Josh Hart, who has been a moving piece in every single team that he went to, found a home in New York, averaging double, 18 rebounds, 19 rebounds, 20 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists. Like, those things show me that, hey, the usage rate, playing 40 minutes a night, 48 minutes sometimes. Those things like that I'm looking. But when I look at Brunson and when I break down his game, he's not a great player to me. He's not somebody where I can say, okay, let me take you off the Knicks and put you in Portland, and when build a team around you in Portland with David Blatt as the coach, and you are still great. I don't see that. And again, that is a testament to greatness for me. It's not only okay, let me play in a system I'm like. Again, we talk about LeBron, obviously all-time great, but he has played for the worst set of coaches, and he has played for I think one good coach. When I say now JJ make two, so he might play for two good coaches right now. So looking at Bronson, so he's a spearhead of the team. Bridges, I can't really judge him over the Nets because obviously he just wasn't happy there. You can't
And plus,
sustain a
he was
man.
he was playing above who he is. He's not the number one option on a team.
Yep.
He's just not the number one
Yeah.
option.
So I'm looking at that, and I think the Knicks, if they can get favorable matchups, can go to the Eastern Conference semifinals. They would have to hope, say, Giannis get hurt again, Dame get hurt again, Embiid get hurt again, Boston get hurt for them to go to the finals. But if everyone is healthy or mostly healthy, it's a second round team at best. I just don't think they're good enough.
Um, they're better. I'll give them that because we could see Mikhail scale back down to a role that suits him better. And we could finally see him play the defense that made him be a defensive player of the year finalist in 2022 because he hasn't played that defense the minute he set foot in Brooklyn. Hasn't even played close to that level of defense. So, they are better. Um, Still remains to be seen what they do with Randall. If they're going to run it back, see if they can keep Hartenstein. Hartenstein might be inclined to take um, a pay cut, even though, hey, more power to you. I wouldn't do it, but more power to you, I guess. They're better, but I don't think a lot of people are calling them definitively the second best team in the East. I'm not there yet. I still think that, as much as I don't care about Philly because they have never done anything to move my team, so I'm like, I do feel that if Philly gets even one serious wing player who is better than Tobias Harris, that they'll be in that mix for second in the East. Milwaukee, I'm a little bit more hesitant. I mean, yeah, you have Dame and Giannis, so that's a good duo, but that team seems to be up in the air because, what are they going to do with Lopez? Yeah, he's on the contract, but he's older. So you're probably going to try to look to move him. Middleton, did fine when he played, especially in that playoff series. What are you going to do there? So I feel like the Bucks have a lot of questions to answer themselves, but I do think that they're still in that tier right there with Philly and Milwaukee. I don't think at this moment that they have done enough to separate themselves from those other two. But it's an overpay for both guys. But hey, you have them. Let's see what happens. They are better, but I wouldn't jump to contender. Knicks fans will tell you yes, but they are a delusional bunch. That happens when you haven't seen success in your natural born life. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. Oh gee, you getting $42.5 million.
Um, so before we head out out of here, let me just ask,
Mhm.
and I'll start with Miguel. Out of Curry or LeBron, who wins the next championship?
Neither.
Uh, uh,
This is recorded in us, so we can have it and pull it up for years
uh,
and years and years to come.
let me tell you, I think realistically speaking, as Theo said, neither. Realistically speaking.
They'd have to move teams.
However, with the right amount of movement on either one of their teams, nothing is impossible for either of those two guys.
Yeah.
That's how I would answer it. As things are now, without the appropriate support from their respective boards and the appropriate, man management in terms of the rosters, the respective rosters, it's going to be hard. They would have to literally roll back a couple of years, and I say a couple to me, maybe 5 years worth of age to really make the type of effect that they need to really pull either of these rosters to any form of championship right now.
Yeah. To piggyback off what Miguel said, even though I cut him twice. Neither. I honestly feel that like you said, the current situations that they're in would have to drastically improve, or they would have to move. we'll see which one. LeBron seems to be the only one who can do either, seeing that he's a free agent. So if you want to use that to argue that LeBron would be the answer because he has more control of his destiny than Steph does, then fine. But if we're not doing all those other factors, I would say as things stand, neither. But if I were to just give an answer, LeBron.
All right, and I'll say this, all right, and in closing, I certainly think LeBron will win a championship. I think JJ Redick will shut up all the critics because again, there are there are there are I heard
Yeah, you should have known this was a setup.
no. So I heard Colin say this yesterday, and it is so true. There and Miguel knows as a businessman, there are two things in business that works: smart and competitive. One thing don't work though: stubborn. Right? So you can be smart, you can be competitive, but you can't be stubborn. So if the market will show you something, you have to move with the market. If you go to the Lakers organization and you say, all right then, I like Austin Reeves, but Austin Reeves not really playing the basketball right now, and I can get a trade for a trade him. You can't be stubborn and still with Austin Reeves. I think, and again, they interviewed Coach K, and what Coach K said, JJ Redick is one of the smartest.
Did you expect Coach K to say any different?
Well, no, but him could have said, I think JJ would have been a good coach. You know, a lot of people said that, but him said, this is a perfect job for JJ. JJ loves a challenge. And again, from watching him on press conference, before the press conference finished, I say, all right, he's better than Darvingham. The man no coach a game yet, you know. But I say better than Darvingham, and he's smarter than Frank Vogel.
I mean, the bar is in hell, but okay.
Hey, well, but listen, you tell me, say, no coach
I listen to him. And he sounds like he wants to do what the Celtics did. If he wanted a Mazzulla disciple, he could have gotten Charles Lee.
Well, he's getting Sam Cassell.
Sam Cassell is going to be the lead assistant, so you stay there. Our lead assistant went to Charlotte, so we need to fill that position. Yeah. Sam is leaving. Sam trying to get ring number 4.
Well, he can get it in LA. All right.
All
right, with that said, gents, out of here. I don't know if you guys watch track and field, but Elaine has withdrawn from the national championship.
I just saw that, because I was scrolling, keeping up with the draft, and I saw that.
Yeah,
Sharika, save us.
It's going to be an American sports day at the Olympics. Miguel, thank you, boss, for finally freaking showing up.
4 days late, but on time.
We'll talk. Zint, respect.
No, man. Bless up everyone. Yeah.